What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Tom Talks Rubbish, and today I'm back with another AEW Dynamite review, this time reviewing the show that took place on the, let me just check the date, the 17th of February 2021. So let's get into the show. Overall thoughts before we get into the minutiae of the show. I am really enjoying this whole Hangman Page, Matt Hardy storyline. I'm enjoying the whole, basically Hangman being smart, part of it. But I'm also, so I'm enjoying that, and it's been announced by now, so I can talk about it. But I like the whole stipulation that we get in at Revolution, Matt Hardy versus Hangman, the winner basically getting a load of money. Like, that's simple. And yeah, I like that. I like the whole inner circle drama with Sammy now being out, as we talked about last week, and Jericho sort of knowing that things are up, like things are wrong, like, and him acknowledging them with MJF, but still trusting him. So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying the women's tournament. The only match I've managed to catch up on was the one that we saw last night, which was Riho versus Serena Deep. Is it D or Deep? I always get it confused. But I do hope to go watch the other matches. But yeah, enjoyed that. Enjoyed the main event, just your classic AEW tag match. And the fact that we're getting a electric barbed wire match, I think, like, blows my mind. The fact that we're getting that, to main event Revolution. But anyway, let's get into the minutiae of the show. I've rambled on enough. So the show kicked off with, as I spoke about earlier, Hangman Page and Matt Hardy versus the Hybrid 2. Enjoyed that. Like, overall, this was your classic tag team match where Hangman's involved. It started with Hangman hitting a suplex on one of the Hybrid 2 onto another one. So that was a cool spot. I enjoyed Hangman hitting a shooting star press. Hangman's hot tag was fun. Hangman hitting a buckshot lariat. Also, but Matt Hardy being a bit of a idiot in this match and tagging himself in, but then later getting beat up and being forced to tag Hangman in, I thought was a really nice touch. So yeah, Hangman would then later hit the double buckshot lariat on the Hybrid 2, and then Matt Hardy would win with the twist of fate. Enjoyed that. I thought it was a nice change of pace. We then had a promo from Matt Hardy basically being like, last week you signed with me and it was the best decision you made. You're now going to make lots of money. But then Hangman turns around and goes, well, Matt, that isn't strictly true. Because if you look at this footage, I did not sign your contract. I signed one of mine. And that basically revealed, in sort of a comic manner, but still in a serious manner, that, like I said, at Revolution in March, we are going to get Hangman versus Matt Hardy, in basically the winner getting the money they've made so far this year, in the winner getting the money that the losers made so far this year. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed I think it was the Jacksonville Jaguars mascot coming out and it being revealed that it was Isaiah Cassidy, who is a member of Private Party who Matt Hardy mentors, and the them beating down Hangman Page, and then Matt Hardy just shouting to the Hybrid 2, hey guys, you want to make some money? If you beat him down, I'll pay you so much money. And then I really enjoyed the whole Dark Order coming out to save Hangman, and that that dynamic of Hangman really should trust the Dark Order sort of thing. So yeah, this is a program that's bubbling along nicely. And yeah, I'm enjoying this. We then had an Inner Circle promo where Santana and Ortiz basically talk about the fact that the reason they haven't had a tag team title shot in AEW so far is because they fear it. They are feared by the entire division. Enjoyed that. That was cool. I also enjoyed the little snippets that we were getting from MJF of him trying to reach out to Sammy and being like, what were you doing? And sort of trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. But again, Jericho not seeing it and him being like, dude, we watched the show. We saw that you basically, what is the word I'm looking for? You coerced him into punching you. Now, but then it turned into a heel promo, and I thought it was cool how he was like, but now the Inner Circle has got rid of our weak link. We are stronger than ever, and tonight we're going to win gold. We then had, which I thought was the match of the night, AEW Women's Championship Tournament, Serena Deeb versus Riho. This started out with your classic chain wrestling, and it also focused on an injured knee that Serena Deeb has had throughout the tournament, but I don't know if that's kayfabe or real. If someone could let me know in the comments, that'd be awesome, but I'm not 100% sure if it's real or kayfabe. But yeah. And we then get a scene where the doctors are checking on Serena, and you think the match is going to be called off, but she walks it off, and Riho, she then goes for Serena then goes for a brainbuster, but can't hit it because of her knee, and Riho counters, and gives Serena her version of the 619, a double foot stomp, but and a crossbody, pinfall for a very close 2 count. Then the women trade like roll up pinfalls, and Riho finally wins. Again, fun match. This is the first match I've seen Riho in since the pandemic, so I really enjoyed this. And yeah, I would highly recommend checking this one out. We then had a training montage of Shaq and Jade Cahill training for their match on March 3rd on AEW Dynamite. This was inoffensive. They were just shooting a basketball around. It was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't great either. I was just sort of indifferent to it, if that makes any sense. We then had what maybe I thought was the low point of the night, but still good. Orange Cassidy versus Luffa, and essentially all you need to know about this, guys, is at one point Chuck Taylor attacked Serpentico, Luffa's partner, and Luffa got distracted, which allowed Orange Cassidy to hit the orange punch on him and win. Again, something that was inoffensive, but I don't really see where we're going with this, because Miro didn't show up to beat them down afterwards or anything like that. So I don't really see where we are going with this. Like, where is this going to lead to? Like, people, I don't know. Like, inoffensive, but I would just like to know where the story's going. We then had, ironically, what I thought was really good, whereas when I complained about it last week. We then had, as usual, Sting calling out Team Taz, instead it was the reverse. Team Taz calling out Sting and being like, look what we did to your little buddy, because last week they put Darby Allin in a body bag, as we saw. He came out and basically came out to the ring without speaking with his bat, and they were like, oh, you need the bat to take us down, you're soft, blah blah blah. So he drops the bat and starts brawling with them, finally getting physical, connecting blows, but then finally the numbers game catches up with him and Sting takes a powerbomb. I was shocked at this. I did not see this coming. I did not see Sting taking bumps of any kind. I thought all his stuff was going to be cinematic and everything. I haven't seen or heard any reports that he was injured, so as long as it all went okay and everyone was safe, it was very cool to see, I'm not going to lie. We then had an Eddie Kingston promo where he talks about how every one of his opponents in the main event John Moxley, Lance Archer, and Ray Phoenix are his demons. Like, because Ray Phoenix is his demon because he didn't even want him in his group. He wanted his brother, Pentagon Jr. Lance Archer's his demon because he was dealing with him since the Casino Battle Royal. And John Moxley's his demon because of their long-running friendship/rivalry, and he can never get rid of him. And the only way he can do that isn't with pills or alcohol or gambling or any other form of what we would call addiction. It's mainly through beating him up, essentially. We then had, if I'm being honest, what I thought was the low point of the night, and I didn't really understand it. We had Kenny at a nursery reading a part of the Young Bucks book, essentially, where they talk about how great Kenny Omega is. Like, I get this furthers his heel persona and stuff, but and then we saw Michael Nakazawa get hit in the nuts and the shin. Like, again, inoffensive, I just didn't see the point. We then had what I also could consider match of the night. This is pretty obvious, but Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz. This started out with a lot of chain wrestling and double teams. It had some really good moments where, like, for example, this reminded me very much of, I don't know if you guys have seen Survivor Series 98, but when The Rock, it looks like he's trying to help Mankind and stuff get rid of the Authority, but then obviously later in the night he turns on Mankind and joins them. But I had flavours of that because whilst in the moment when MJF was kicked out, it looked as if Santana and Ortiz were going to fail. You actually saw them committing healing moves while the ref was distracted. So that in turn helped them get an advantage in the match. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone else. We then had moments like Matt hit in a double. Finally, let me start that one again. Nick is isolated throughout a bulk of the match because of the heel tactics, and then he hits a super kick and gets a hot tag to Matt. And Matt hits a double cutter on Santana and Ortiz, and then counter bang for your buck is countered with a powerbomb, and then the Young Bucks hit a flipping Doomsday device, which I thought was really cool. We then saw this bit was weird. We then saw the Young Bucks kick out of the street sweeper, which Santana and Ortiz hit. Like, was this anyone else? But on my Fight TV, all I saw in the next bit was one of Santana and Ortiz on the apron, then get hit, then come in the ring and be rolled up by Matt Jackson for them to lose the titles. Like, did anything else happen? But overall, I probably didn't do this match justice. If you haven't seen it again, I would highly recommend checking it out. We then saw the Inner Circle beat down the Young Bucks with Jericho having Matt Jackson in the Walls of Jericho and Nick Jackson being in what's it called? MJF's Salt of the Earth armbar. So yeah, I enjoyed this. Like, this built anticipation for the pay-per-view, and yeah, highly recommend checking this match out if you haven't seen it. We then had what I thought was probably the low point in the night, and maybe because we'd already seen a couple of tag team matches, one too many. Like, we saw Matt Sydal and Mike Sydal taking on FTR, and basically all this match was double team moves by FTR, flippy moves by Matt and Mike Sydal, and then eventually FTR won with the big rig, which is what their version of the which is what the Shatter Machine is now called in AEW. Again, probably didn't enjoy this one as much as I could because I was burnt out on tag team matches, I suppose. Maybe that's just me. Let me know in the comments, did you guys think there was too many tag team matches? But yeah. And then the final bit, we saw Jurassic Express come out and attack FTR. The lights go out, we saw them attack FTR, and next week we're getting FTR and Tully Blanchard, which is pretty cool, versus Jurassic Express. So that'll be fun. And then finally we had our 6-man tag main event. Moxley, Phoenix and Archer versus Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and the Blade. Again, this was your classic AEW main event. Brawling to ultimately end up with Moxley hitting his finisher, the Paradigm Shift, on Eddie Kingston to eventually get the win. Again, I don't have very many notes on this match because you should just check it out for yourself. There was moments like, obviously, Phoenix walking on the ropes, which was cool, and bits like that. But then the main thing I want to talk about is the promo at the end of the match. Kenny coming out and the Young Bucks, the Good Brothers coming out with him and beating down Moxley and then holding Moxley and him being like, Kenny cutting this hill obnoxious promo and being like, you want a rematch? Because he's Moxley put in his contract that he gets a rematch clause. Fine. But we're going to have a exploding barbed wire death match, I think was what it was called. I don't know what that is. If anyone knows what it is, please let me know in the comments. But that just sounds really cool, and that's what we're getting at Revolution. But overall, guys, I really enjoyed this episode of AEW Dynamite. Maybe if I had one criticism, too many tag team matches, but I would still give it 4 out of 5 stars. My highlights was definitely the women's match, Serena Deep versus Riho, and again, Santana and Ortiz and the Young Bucks. I definitely didn't do justice, and you should check out for yourself. But overall, stories are kicking along nicely, and I'm excited for Revolution. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Cheers for all the support on the channel. If you like this video, please hit subscribe and like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.